I want to help you with using your calculator to quickly calculate that chi-squared statistic. So I'm going back to the example about the vitamins and the different proportion of colors, green, yellow, red, and orange, that should be in each bottle. So we had to take, remember we had to do the observed minus the expected, square that, divide by the expected, and then add all of those up. Here's how you can quickly do that in your calculator. So first go into Stat and click on Edit, and that takes you to your lists. In my first list, I'm going to type in the observed value. So we had 1,049 and 1,948 for yellow, 552 for red, and 1,401 for orange. In my next list, I'm going to put in the expected values, and that's what we calculated by multiplying the percentages, 40%, 20%, by the total that we got. So for green, it was 1,010. For yellow, it was 2,020. For red, it was 505. And for orange, it was 1,515. Now here's where I'm going to let my calculator do the work for me. If you arrow up and put your cursor on the title, so for me it's where L3 is, and now I'm going to put in an equation, and the calculator will do it all for me. So remember our equation is to do the observed minus the expected divided by the, or squared divided by the expected. So all of my observed values are in list 1. So to get that to show up, I'll hit second and the number 1, and that's going to give me access to list 1 here. And notice how that displays there at the bottom. Actually, let me go back. I need a parenthesis there first. So parenthesis, second, list 1, those are my observed, minus second 2 for list 2, those are my expected. Close your parentheses, square that, divide it by list 2, which are my expected again. And what your calculator does is it populates that list for you, and that's what we got before, the 19.13, 2.5663, and so on. Now I still have to add those up, and rather than writing them down, if you quit out of your list and then go here's Stat, above that the second function is list, hit second list, arrow over to math, and you should have something that says sum, and for me it's number 5. It might be different depending on the version of your calculator. Hit sum, and now I'm going to tell my calculator to sum up a list for me. Well, we put all of those values in list 3, so I'll do second list 3, and there's that sum for me. That's my chi-square test statistic. So that's a fast way, and especially if you have quite a few data points, you don't want to have to do all of that by hand. So if you use your list, put the observed values in one list, put your expected values in a second list, and use list 3 to type in an equation, and it'll do it all for you, and finally use a sum to add up that final list.